Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome once again to Disney Compendium, an unprecedented part two episode. I am your host, JJ. Over there is my good buddy, Nick. Nick, how you doing?
JJ, if you or anyone you know have updates to Robin Hood, please call the number below.
Thank you. Yes, everyone, don your foil hats. Cue the Unsolved Mysteries theme.
We're not
Uh,
saying it's aliens, but it's aliens.
but boy, oh boy, do we have quite an update for you? So I'm dubbing this 21.2 Robin Hood Exposed. Uh, um, Immediately, like virtually the next day, after we recorded our Robin Hood episode, I stumbled upon a little nugget of knowledge that is quite frankly earth shattering.
It's
It opens up a realm
possibilities.
of possibilities that uh, we spent a good half hour texting back and forth, like what this means to the overall Disney universe and tying everything up. And we figured, boy, we need to just record this. Uh,
Boy, you think the MCU crossovers are epic?
yeah, boy.
Boy,
Uh, so what happened was after we recorded the episode and everything, I said, I like that soundtrack. I'm gonna start listening to it. It's on Spotify, albeit sort of incomplete, but that doesn't matter because the most important song appears on the Spotify soundtrack. Um, Louis Prima, who was the voice of King Louis in The Jungle Book, recorded a bunch of Robin Hood songs. Some of them are um, just his versions of soundtracks, and some of them are original songs. Uh, he did a song about Friar Tuck on there, and just a song about the Merry Men, and the love song and things like that. But the most shocking one was a song called King Louis and Robin Hood. So what this song poses, and the lyrics are very much King Louis and Robin Hood were friends long ago. If you believe in make believe, then surely this was so. And it goes into about how many, many years ago, King Louis, as in Jungle Book's King Louis, and Robin Hood were best friends, inseparable friends. Um, yeah. Oh boy, does that that raises a lot of questions, and this is where this is where the conversation
now
started.
this isn't a Disney album,
Yes, this
so
isn't
technically
official.
this is canon.
Yeah, so we're going with the theory that this is canonical information. This is King Louis himself is singing this song. Now, the caveat being, if you believe in make believe, then surely this was so. But at the same time, it is assumed that all of Disney lore is make believe. So if one, it can't be two different planes of make believe. It's all if
Right.
it's all make believe or it's all reality.
Yeah,
So
there
yeah,
wasn't actually a fox who stole
yeah,
things in full
yeah.
Link garb. So
So so I guess the first question this raises, and this is what this entire episode is going to be. Um, which was it? Did Robin Hood leave the jungle, or did Louis retreat to the jungle?
I think I think my theory was that Louis left the jungle.
Louis left the jungle to.
Louis,
I think I thought that Robin fled to live a
India.
yeah fled to live a better life in England.
Yeah.
Big fish in a small pond situation. Moves to England but well, Louis stayed behind and became a king.
But the British did have a role in India
Yes.
last.
So I guess the main question that came up to us after that, and we touched upon it in the original episode just a little bit when we talked about like of Jungle Book. Um, like what happens to uh, um, Mowgli when he enters, the humanity again, when he enters the human race. What happens? He would probably be killed.
Right.
Um, I think I think I can't remember if we said it on the episode or if I said it to you or something. It's like he's going to bring a virus with him of some sort. And it's going to
What did you
wipe out.
explain in the books that like yeah they think he's like a warlock?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they, outcast him, and in the book, yeah, they outcast him, and he gets his revenge on the village that outcasted him. Um, Regardless, if this is to be believed that this storyline is how it's playing out, humanity ceases to exist in the by the end of the Jungle Book and the beginning of Robin Hood. So
Well, so Mowgli was patient zero.
yes, I mean it created this Legend of Zelda timeline splinter where you know in this reality, in the reality where Mowgli returns to the jungle and adapts nicely, is where you get the Jungle Book 2 timeline.
Right.
Uh, in the book reality, he returns and gets shunned, and he destroys the village, and you know, the just lives as the Jungle Boy once again. It's like that's the book timeline. Uh,
But the book reality is not the Disney reality.
but the book reality is not the Disney reality or the Disney sequel reality.
Right.
Um, and I guess in our scenario here, there's the third splinter where he brings something back to the village that quickly spreads.
It quickly spreads, and it has to be quick.
It has to be quick. I don't know how. We don't know when the Jungle Book takes place. We do know when Robin Hood would take place theoretically,
Right.
but that's assuming history takes place in the same time frame. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
does the animal version of the Crusades happen when the human version of the Crusades would be happening?
Right. Or it could
um,
be like a mishmash of like like
yeah,
the old Batman movies where it's like
yeah,
people are dressed in 20s garb, but it's still modern times.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So unclear, but it does present the history is bound to happen regardless sort of situation.
Right.
History, time finds a way to correct itself in some way, shape, or form. Like this has to happen, so this is what's happened. Um, which you know, uh, boy, it's just like so. Humanity ceases to exist.
Right.
Robin has moved to England. King Louis stayed behind. Um, Robin Hood plays out. Jungle Book has done its run its course, and we don't know. We don't know. We have our theory as to what happened afterwards,
Hmm.
and so effectively, we've tied in the Disney Afternoon universe into this reality.
Yes.
So clear. Okay, so first and foremost, between uh, the end of Robin Hood and the beginning of Tailspin, a war happened.
Between animals and the last remaining shreds of humanity.
Perhaps something, because they reference a war a couple of times in Tailspin. And, you have characters in military garb and stuff. And you got all that going on. So in our reality, Blue, unable to cope with sort of what he caused by allowing Mowgli to go back to the man village, left the jungle.
Goes to Cape Suzette.
Moves to Cape Suzette. Um, and obviously King Louis joins him and opens a
Yes.
bar, opens Cheers. Uh,
But does Louis open the bar after the friendship of Robin Hood or before?
well, it'll have to be after
Yeah.
because uh, Robin Hood left at this point already because they
Right.
were friends long ago, not current. For all we know, they were friends when they were children. Um, So,
But
um,
I did give you a crazy theory about
it
Robin
did.
Hood.
I do like your crazy theory about Robin Hood, and I tied it in. I had to. I had to neatly wrap it up because there is a loose end. But go
Yeah.
on with your theory.
My original theory was, and this is until JJ like explained to me how animals work. I originally was like, you know what? Robin Hood leaves England. He's like he can't live the bandit life anymore. Marion's left him. Whatever.
It's caught up to him. The the,
It's kind
the
of
life of the bandit is caught up to him finally.
he moves to Cape Suzette, but he still has uh, the criminal mentality, let's say,
Yeah,
and adopts a new persona as Don Carnage.
Don Carnage.
Now,
Now, what I pointed out was that Don Carnage is a wolf
yes,
and Robin Hood is a fox. However, they look similar enough, and it wouldn't be unprecedented for Robin Hood to dress up as another animal, to act as another animal. So for him to go into hiding as a wolf, not that crazy of a theory, honestly.
and he can do voices.
Yes, he can do voices. He can cover himself up. I mean, he played a very convincing stork and a very convincing um, vulture. So,
But to
uh,
poke holes in my own theory, Don Carnage is kind of a bumbling idiot.
yes. But also, we don't know. I mean, he was, I'm assuming he fought in the war. And for all we know, he has PTSD and it's sort of ruined uh, his self, essentially. So, uh,
That's one theory.
that's one theory. So it's not too far removed from what it could possibly be. And so how do you tie? Because now you've blown this open. Because how many Disney movies exist without human representation in any way, shape, or form? So
Uh,
like,
More than half of them.
yeah. So like, at this point, the Jungle Book exists obviously in this universe that we created. The Lion King could easily exist in this universe. I mean,
Right.
it's very similar. It just happens in Africa, concurrently with Robin Hood, or during the events of Tailspin, where it's like Wakanda, where they're a little more isolated. So,
Hmm.
they don't have they haven't started walking upright or so. I don't know, but also, there's who's to say that the reason why the shared animation of the Jungle Book and Robin Hood, Baloo and Little John could be related, easily related.
I mean, they pretty much are the same character.
They're the same characters, so they could very easily just be distant relatives of he's like you know cousin on his father's side that moved that you know migrated to England at some point somehow. So
I mean,
not
to
too
further
far.
flesh this out, you have Zootopia.
Zootopia, which literally shares majority of the cast of Robin Hood. It's a red fox and a rabbit, which are two of the most crucial animals in Robin Hood.
Right.
So, and it takes place. I mean, why would I mean it's those two could very easily be the exact same reality. No,
Right.
just like no two ways to go about that. Like it's like the Crusades happened in their reality, and centuries later, here we are. Rabbits and foxes are still living together in relative harmony. Clearly, some bad stuff had happened in the interim where racism played a major role in history when they had to sort of figure things out to live as a happy animal society. Uh,
Well, I mean, and just to kind of like show that we're not just pulling things out of thin air. Like these series have kind of gone around already with like the Pixar universe.
yeah, yeah, they're all genuinely connected. The Pixar movies. There's always a reference, or there's always somebody shows up or something. There's always something in there that sort of ties everything together
And how something terrible happened at some point.
at some point because, like, clearly something awful happened that created the Cars reality, a split
Right.
reality where humans don't exist, but cars are living creatures that inexplicably they still need certain things like uh, why do you like why do you need planes in this
Why do planes
reality?
exist? Yeah.
Yeah, just but
Well, I mean,
because they
I
already
mean, like,
existed and it just evolved into this
I
weird.
mean, I mean, look at the end of Wally. Wally is basically like a post-apocalyptic movie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
it's nobody's on Earth is unlivable. It's, it's Cowboy Bebop. If anyone's ever seen it, can't live on Earth anymore because it's just being it's just an unlivable situation, and anyone that is on there doesn't live a great life. Obviously, that would be a fun movie, Wally, but it still takes place on Earth with the humans that couldn't or didn't leave.
And you have films like A Bug's Life. No humans.
No humans, but I mean, it clearly exists in a universe with humans because there, or at some point there was humans because like there's trash and stuff. Um, because like they're creating uh, things out of boxes and things, so you don't see humans, but humans clearly at some point currently exist or have existed.
They left a footprint.
Yeah, no, they could be living in some sort of the remnants of the Wally universe where they're
Yeah.
making their lives out of the trash that's all around them.
But again, that's just kind of
Yeah, that's where we're at. So you know, like think about think about with DuckTales could easily exist in the Duck universe. Why couldn't there just be a nation of ducks? It seems ducks seem like they would create their own society offshoot separate from everyone else because you do see other animals invade the Duckburg or whatever and they're bad guys, the Beagle
yep.
Boys and stuff. So
And then you go to Darkwing Duck, and you have like most of his villains are non-ducks aside from Negaduck.
Negaduck and um, what's the plant one? He's very
Busher.
duck. Yeah, I mean he's clearly just a mutated duck,
But you
but
had like
yeah, but
Liquidator and
yeah, um, uh, the electric one. I always forget their names.
he's a rat basically.
Yeah, he's a rat and stuff like that. And Chip and Dale with like Chip and Dale can easily take place, and like this is taking place in Midwest America or New York or something with Fat Cat and all these characters.
Or even look at Goof Troop. There's no humans in that show.
There's no humans in that show. They're just living a suburban life. So we
Yeah.
like the Disney Afternoon universe. It clearly exists in this uh, Mowgli was patient zero situation.
Right.
And like we said, clearly there was a war. They've mentioned it in Tailspin a few times. Um, so what that war was, it's implied World War I, but baby, in this alternate reality, World War I was the animals that have learned to live upright and human lives versus the last remnants that weren't wiped out from this obviously horrible plague that was unleashed on humanity.
Or it's the animal World War One. Not necessarily. Yeah.
Yeah, but
So like, and then we see like they do go to war with like what the episode with the panda law.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. So um, it's just it's just a stupid song that was written by the voice of King Louie, officially for Disney, that spawned this uh, universe that directly connects the Jungle Book and Robin Hood, and it blew our minds when we
yeah,
first it. I immediately sent it to you after I found it. I said,
right
"Oh
away.
my!" Yeah, it was like I listened to it. I was like, "Oh my god!" We joked about this in the Jungle Book episode, but like, and I sort of hinted in the Robin Hood episode. It's like, for all we know, this is like a cinematic universe because that's the animation's the same and the character designs are all the same. Like for all there could be some directly related in some way, and the very next day falls right into my lap as proof that theoretically these are an expanded universe and it opens up limitless possibilities to what this means for the overall Disney lore. And I don't think it's beyond the realm of believability that Robin Hood and Zootopia are directly related.
No.
uh, because, like I said, Fox and rabbits are very close in Robin Hood, and that's the entire plot point of Zootopia. Like at the end of the day, it's this fox and rabbit coexisting. So
Yeah, and you see like they have kind of like a amicable relationship in the Robin Hood universe.
Yeah, yeah, and so and Robin Robin's ancestor uh, being uh, um, oh, I forget his name now in Zootopia.
I don't know. I don't know it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but like become like being a turning into a cop effectively makes sense because I mean like Robin Hood, like the character was noble, and when the king returns, clearly like he's going to become a prince and all this
Right.
nonsense. So I guarantee that there's some docket somewhere in the Disney archives, the massive Disney archives. The Disney Vault has some sort of paperwork that can show the direct lineage of Zootopia to Robin Hood. It's like,
Now, what's funny is at first I kind of like opened myself the possibility, like, oh, maybe since it's Louis Prima singing the song, he's just talking about himself. Like, oh, I was friends with Robin Hood.
yeah,
No, the song does not say I be Louis Prima. No,
yeah,
no, he implies that the character
yeah.
King Louis was friends with
King
Robin.
Louis. It's like if it was just Louis and Robin Hood, like all right, you're Louis Prima. So it's like
Yeah,
unless you're referring to yourself as the king, which, if I recall, he is the king of swing or something
yeah.
like. But still, like you can't be the voice of King Louis and then write a song of mentioning King Louis, and you're not saying I was. It was King Louis and Robin Hood were friends.
Yeah.
He was not referring to himself in the first person in any way, shape, or form. So it's very clearly talking about the character he played in a Disney universe. Because the rest of the songs that he does are just songs about Robin Hood and um, his versions of the pre-existing songs and some original songs. So it's very clearly Robin Hood songs where. And so with having this one in there makes it stand out even more
Yeah.
because it's like,
Yeah.
ooh,
Sorry.
yeah, we're both getting over a horrible, horrible flu or illness or bronchitis in your case.
Bronchitis in my case, yeah.
But
Um, well, like, so just to kind of further go down the rabbit hole.
yeah,
Uh,
Utopia.
so let's say, let's throw another Disney movie in there.
Yeah.
Let's say, Merlin time travels, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he saw something.
Maybe that's why he was perfectly okay uh with having Arthur be a squirrel and
Yeah.
fish, just trying
He's
to
like, you're
give him
gonna have
like,
to, like,
listen, my dude, if you want to survive what's coming, you're gonna have to learn to survive with something that's not human.
it's like that scene from Infinity War where Strange is like going through all the alternate realities
There's only one where you survive, dude. And
and check it out. You're a fox.
your folks yeah. So I'm gonna need you to learn to live life as a squirrel or a fish or yeah. So
Eh?
be careful. Be careful out there.
Like,
So
here's the thing: is Disney opened this can of worms.
yeah.
We didn't open this can of worms.
No, no, and they opened this can of worms, decades ago. It's only just now stumbling upon it, and uh, yeah, a little bit of, you're gonna have to take some creative license with it, but like the intention is there to tie in Jungle Book and Robin Hood. Like it's like you don't make that song by accident. So
No, because Disney could have said like, that doesn't make any sense. Those two movies are nothing to do with each other.
yeah, yeah.
But they didn't.
They didn't, and it exists, and they've recently re-released it because this soundtrack that I was listening to came out in 2017.
Yeah,
So it's not like it's just like you could easily just ignore it, but they didn't. It's on a modern release of the Robin Hood soundtrack Legacy
it's.
Edition.
I'm gonna guess most of our listeners have access to Spotify. Go on
Yeah,
Spotify. It's there right now.
it's there right now.
I wish we could play it, but
But yeah, it'd be nice to play it.
copyrights and such and such and such.
Yeah, Disney, not exactly a non-litigious company. Thank God I have a mute button. You don't, but I do.
No, I was trying to cough silently. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that song's on Spotify, and I mean,
Listen to it and look at the list of Disney movies and piece together your own
yeah,
scenario. I mean, we don't know when Little Mermaid takes place either, but like humanity is still existing, but now all of a sudden we've got a fish person marrying a human being in a very Lovecraftian way. And,
and there's no telling what time period Little Mermaid is.
yeah, so
It's just
we
very
don't know what kind
broad.
of outcome that has on humanity. So that could have
No,
dire repercussions too that could tie into all of this.
yeah,
It's a joint thing. Humanity made a bunch of very bad decisions at one specific point in history that wiped them out and left the animals to take over.
right. Well, I mean, okay, let's say you have a ton of Disney movies
Yeah,
that there are animals and humans coexist. Like
yeah,
animals are pets, or
yes,
they're in their normal capacity, but
yeah,
they speak
yeah,
like humans
yeah.
and act like humans.
But what's
You could argue that
yeah.
the timeline resets itself at some point.
At some point, like I said, history tries to fix itself. I mean, because there's always, and we'll get to that when we get to Aladdin, but there's always that story that Aladdin is post-apocalyptic and not, ancient history.
Right.
Because, like, the genie knows some pop culture references, and Agrabah's not really a place. It's just sort of a spoonerized, sort of like through time, the name of this place got sort of manipulated to just end up being Agrabah, and, so.
I mean, for God's sakes, in the game Aladdin, there's a Sega Genesis in that cave.
Yes, there was, and like uh, Abu vaguely speaks,
Hmm.
like somewhat, and like the tiger is very obviously cognitive of words and phrases and has the ability to communicate technically, but not like verbally. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
so.
I mean,
And Iago is fully sentient, so like
he's
it's not.
fully sentient.
Yeah, he's not mimicking anything. He is having full conversations. So, like that
Timon
needs
and
to be
Pumbaa,
prepared. Timon and Pumbaa and
fully
everyone.
sentient.
Yeah, I mean everyone in the Lion King is.
Yeah.
So
Oliver and Company, fully sentient.
yeah, Aristocats. Uh, it takes place in a weird uh, human situation, like where humans still exist, but the cats are and animals are fully cognitive. Same with Lady and the Tramp and stuff. So we don't know where that could fall in this timeline, but it could also be the splintered timeline that we suggested earlier.
Well, what we do know
Yeah.
is that the end of the Jungle Book was the Nexus.
Yes, it was the
We're-
tipping point for humanity, and that
yes,
is where the split happens. So
that like the man thing is there, and the Nexus guarding the Nexus of all realities.
and I mean, listen, it's all Disney now contains the Marvel universe. So who's not to say that this is Earth 4287 or something?
Right.
This is pre Secret Wars. So
I mean, Big Hero 6 kind of maybe
yeah,
that was a
yeah, it throws
collaboration.
yeah, and it officially folds Marvel into the Disney animated universe. So Stan Lee exists as a cameo in the Disney cinematic universe. So
Yeah.
it's
Uh,
yeah, it opens up a can of worms that once you crack it open, it's all you think about for like the rest of the afternoon.
because you go like, then what if? Oh my God! But maybe this thing,
Yeah, like
maybe this
because
thing,
like you always want to directly tie in Jungle Book to Tailspin because it's the
right?
same characters, they all return. There's no humans, so like I said, Baloo having lost Mowgli and feeling partially responsible for what happened to the downfall of humanity, uh, takes a young ward under his wing with Kit,
Yeah.
like to try to fill that hole that was left from from humanity in his heart. You know,
So, so you're saying like Baloo, while jovial and from the outside, is carrying some dark knowledge with him.
he knows. Like, yes, he saw what happened. He was there to experience firsthand what happened when he released a feral child back into the man village, and what happened.
He was in the room when it happened.
The song may say there was no there was nobody in the room when it happened, but there was. It was Baloo.
It was Baloo. It was
Yeah,
Baloo.
yeah. We need Lin Manuel Miranda to write the. It's like Hamilton, but our Disney cinematic universe.
Yeah.
What
It just
American animal president?
animal.
Animal, yeah. Animal Hamilton. Whoever, whatever that, a gazelle probably or something.
No, animal Hamilton just sounds fine. Just leave it that.
Ham isn't his title, so it would be like a pig or something, a
Yeah.
boar. It would be Pumbaa's later like ancestor of some sort, like future future ancestor. I don't know when
I mean,
Jungle in our universe. I don't know when Lion King would take place, but it obviously takes place in this humanless universe.
I mean, so kind of go back and to get to prove we're not crackpots here. You look at all the Disney movies up to Jungle Book.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, animals are in them when the animals talk.
yeah,
They sometimes act like humans, sometimes they don't.
yeah.
But
Lady
Jungle Book's the
Ram,
first one where they really do.
yes,
And you look at the movies past Jungle Book, like you got, Robin Hood, like we
yeah.
mentioned, and you have Aristocats,
Aristocats.
but look at movies like Brave Little Toaster, where
Yeah,
appliances have taken on these. Like clearly something happens
yeah.
after Jungle Book.
Now, with Brave Little Toaster, is that a the pre to the Cars universe where
I think
machines
so.
are
Yeah,
becoming sentient, and it's just sort of like just it's very simple machines, and then they start evolving more and more to the point where it's cars, and because cars are everywhere and so big, and
I would say Brave Little Toaster is the beginning of that.
that so we've created another split where humanity and appliances lived together. And
But
there was yeah,
but regardless, the Jungle Book is the
yeah, Jungle Book in this viral outbreak. Like we call Mowgli Patient Zero, but like Jungle Book is Movie Zero. It's
right.
rebooting. It's and keep in mind, it's the first movie after the death of Walt Disney, so it is the, you know, we're rebooting the Disney timeline at a point at this point. So once Walt
It's
once Walt's gone, the Disney timeline resets itself.
the Onslaught saga is over with.
Yeah, we've
Here's Heroes Reborn and Captain America.
the Crisis on Infinite Earths event has taken place in the Disney universe, and this is what we're left with.
And since we're talking about Robin Hood is direct evidence of that.
Yes, because
Is
because in between Jungle Book and Robin Hood, you have Aristocats, which is very clearly humans and fully sentient animals living together. I mean, they're performing a jazz concert on a rooftop. Like it's cats are and all these animals are like fully sentient. Maybe it's unclear. It's like obviously humans don't understand it, but stuff is starting to come together.
yeah, it's like, oh, it takes place in 1900. Okay, 1900 doesn't necessarily mean our
Yeah,
1900.
it's this splintered reality where things changed abruptly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So it's there's a lot to take in, and this episode really just exists to lay it all out there and give you our theories. And now listen to the song, look at the movies, piece together your theory, look at the evidence, people. We are through the looking glass, people.
The truth is out there.
The truth is out there. This is this has been your episode of The Outer Limits, the X-Files, Twilight Zone, Unsolved Mysteries, whatever it is.
You can't see this, but right now, JJ and I are like standing in brown trench coats in front of a backlit forest in the
Yes,
middle of a dirt road.
yeah, it's visually impressive. This is it's really a shame this is an audio format.
If you or anyone you know has updates to the King Louie and Robin Hood song, leave a comment.
It will blow my mind if all of a sudden there's like another unreleased like King Louis and um, like I'm trying to think of like another Disney character of like, around the time how King Louis and Goofy used to like hang out and play baseball together or something.
Or there's just gonna be other stuff like Scrooge McDuck and Lumiere were neighbors once upon a time.
Yeah, they used to have a uh, they used to have a bowling team.
Yep.
And, yeah, so it's a shorter episode than usual, but I think this was the most important episode we've ever done of this podcast. Uh,
It
it,
ties everything together.
it ties everything together. This will be an episode that we're going to refer to all the time going forward
Yes.
when we get to movies and instances where, because in the future, as we're talking about another movie, like, you know, next week will be Winnie the Pooh, which doesn't really tie in too much because it's just childlike wonder and imagination. But
Or is it?
yes, we'll see. Now that this knowledge exists, we will find a way. It's probably going to be a new theme of how can we tie this into our Disney Cinematic Universe situation.
So this
So
is Disney Compendium episode 0, technically.
yes, yes, this episode is the reboot officially now. We're gonna have to go back and re-record the first 19 episodes pre-Jungle Book.
Mm. There's like 2 episodes, well, maybe 3 like to skip. That's okay.
We won't do that. We won't bother with the. Although technically we'll have to do the. Which one was it? Saludos or Three Caballeros with the plane that was sentient.
Oh, that was Sludos. Or no, it's
Saludos.
because yeah,
Yeah. It's just,
it's Indian plane who
yeah.
couldn't handle high altitude.
Yeah. So that's the Pixar reality that ties into that one. but but yeah, that's going to be it for this episode. So look forward. Every episode is going to just really going to tie into this one going forward. There's a lot that can tie in. So
We'll probably think of it as we talk about the
as
show.
we talk, it's going to be one of those things where we're going to be thinking about it and we're going to be talking about the episode. It's like, oh, wait a minute. So,
If
so
this thing,
if this happened, so yeah, so very exciting stuff. So Oliver and Company will just be totally focused on this concept at this point. Like,
it might make Oliver and Company watchable.
oh, well.
Meh.
But
Ornaments.
until then, yeah. But until then, thank you all for enjoying listening to us write our fan fiction for the Disney Cinematic Universe. Uh, Join us next week as we talk about Winnie the Pooh in Volume 22. Uh, That'll be exciting. Oh, it was supposed to be this week, but obviously there was bigger fish to fry.
Mhm.
But so next week, Winnie the Pooh. Thank you all again for joining us and have a magical day.
Bye.